My fellow Americans, I come to you today with an issue that's been plaguing our country for decades. An issue that's very sensitive, an issue that people is afraid to talk about most of the times. With everything that happened in this world, the different challenges with COVID happening, you would think this issue would be clear and people will understand a little more, but we still have a problem with this issue today, and that is HIV. HIV is still taboo, still in a negative conversation. With all the advance that HIV have today, we are still living in a time zone where people are still afraid. As your president, I'm making sure that this is the generation that's going to end HIV. By first building a curriculum in our school systems to educate our young people coming out of high school the advance of HIV as a whole as health. The same way we need to know about blood pressure and diabetes and everything, they need to know about HIV. They need to know what HIV is today. They can break the stigma with their conversation. Even when the older generations come with the negative part, they able to say, no, but did you know that HIV is no longer this? Do you know that people on treatment can't pass it off? This generation will help change the conversation of HIV. This is why I know this will be the generation that end HIV. It's time that we pass that law that at least once a year you get tested. Doctors need to start having more conversation, the primary cares, with their patients about HIV. Not waiting for them to come. It needs to be more conversations around HIV and the reason why it's important to know your status. 2 reasons why it's very important to know your status is, first, knowing your status and that test come back negative. It's so much different things right now to protect you from HIV that we can have a different conversation. 2, knowing your status and you find out you're positive. Treatment helps. Treatment today is not like treatment yesterday. Treatment today, people are living, thriving with HIV today. As you can see all over, it's campaigns all around this world right now showcasing people living with HIV. It's no longer a death sentence. We need to start having different conversation. Equal housing, it shouldn't be a signature place lined up just for people with HIV or everybody know you on this program because you got HIV. It should be health as a whole. We need to start making people comfortable with going into their regular doctor's office without design place separate for people living with HIV. It shouldn't be housing buildings put up and say, no, the people that live in there is HIV. We have to break some of these negatives so we can live, so people will be comfortable going to treatment. People will be comfortable going to the pharmacy. People will be comfortable doing things. And we change some of the narratives. So we need to have different conversations. We need to start doing things a lot different. So as your president, it will be some new laws protecting your rights, protecting your privacy. I know we have HIPAA, I know things, but people are afraid because of people that work in things thinking somebody's going to tell them. And the importance of them trusting their provider need to make people a little more safer. So it's time that we start having a different conversation. And with all of these new changes, I promise you, we can end HIV. At this point in the game, it should be no more new diagnosis. We all know what it takes. Treatment work, prevention work. Speak to your doctor, have these conversations. But this generation will end HIV.